Hi, everyone. Just want to thank you all for joining us. Welcome back to the final session of the Professional Development Workshop on improving student research skills for the junior paper. Last session, if you remember, we covered Boolean operators and search strategies. And this week, you'll be modeling those same search strategies for the class. As always, recordings of this session and all others will be available on the website along with supplemental materials. Workshop 3, Modeling Search Strategies. Today's objectives are: when given a sample junior paper topic and access to the school's library databases, you will be able to model the research process by breaking down the topic into keywords, synonyms, and related terms, constructing an effective search query using Boolean operators and quotation marks, and demonstrating source retrieval. On the right, you'll see the schedule. We'll start off with introduction, then a quick recap of workshops 1 and 2, and then you'll move on to an individual search activity, and then you'll start modeling the search strategies for the class. Then we'll move on to discussion, reflection, and our final conclusion, and you'll get to asking questions for the final time. Start with a recap of workshop 1. I'm sure you're all very familiar with this topic already, the effects of social media on the mental health of adolescents. Let's break it down into keywords by removing unnecessary stop words as well as terms that are vague or non-descriptive. That leaves us with just social media, mental health, adolescence. Finally, identify related terms and synonyms to widen the search net. You see here for each keyword, social media, adolescence, and mental health, we come up with as many related terms and synonyms as we can think of. Next, for workshop 2, we took that long list of keywords, synonyms, and related terms, and we used quotation marks to group them into exact phrases as necessary. So here we're grouping social media together, social network, social platform, and then we can leave Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and X alone. Remember, this is for grouping exact terms in an order. Next, we implement Boolean operators. We use and to narrow the search by combining terms, or to broaden the search by including synonyms and related terms, and not to exclude unwanted results. You can even use parentheses to group specific terms and operators together. So here everything related to social media, we put into parentheses. So we have social media or social network or social platform. And everything related to adolescents or teens or teenagers or youth, we also put in parentheses. And finally, everything related to mental health or mental wellness or mental well-being, we put in parentheses. Then we connect those with and, social media and adolescence and mental health. Remember, we want all three. And then we threw in not MySpace, just for fun. It's a long list. Now it's time to put your skills to the test. Recall the pre-workshop activity in which you selected a junior paper topic of your own. Using that topic, identify core keywords, generate synonyms and related terms, use quotation marks to group exact phrases, and combine terms using and, or, and not, if necessary. Basically everything we've done before. Then I want you to write down your final search query, and finally, put your search query to the test. Enter it into the library database and review the search results. Try mixing and matching terms and operators and revise your search as needed. This will basically be everything we've done, but you're going to test it out in the library database and see what happens. While you work, consider the following. For keywords, synonyms, and related terms, how or why are you choosing your keywords? What strategies do you use to generate synonyms and related terms? And what resources are you using? For example, you might want to use a thesaurus for synonyms. For Boolean operators and quotation marks, how are you using and, or, and not to refine your search? How do you decide which search terms to include or omit? And how do different combinations of operators and quotation marks affect results? Wow, you guys did a great job. I went around and I saw some of your work and amazing. I'm just like super impressed. Anyway, let's move on to modeling search strategies. In this exercise, we'll demonstrate how to guide students through a database searching using your selected topic. When presenting, be sure to do the following. For the keyword generation demonstration, Describe your research topic of choice. Identify keywords, synonyms, and related terms. Explain your rationale for including or omitting certain terms. Share any resources or strategy used to generate synonyms and related terms. For the Boolean operators demonstration, describe how you use quotation marks to group words into exact phrases. Describe how you applied and or and not and why. Construct a final search query and enter it into the database. Retrieve a relevant academic source and explain why you chose it. Basically, the point of this exercise isn't to do like real research and find like the best results possible. It's to show your process. Imagine there's a group of students watching you and you're trying to show them step by step how you look something up in the database, how you find your resources, how you find academic and relevant sources using these strategies that we've learned. Now, for the audience members, while you observe your fellow participants, try to place yourself into the shoes of a student and evaluate their demonstration based on the following criteria. 1. The demonstration was clear and easy to understand. 2. The keywords and related terms were relevant and made sense. 3. The use of Boolean operators and quotation marks helped structure the search query. 4. The results retrieved were academically appropriate and relevant to the initial topic. And 5. The presenter explained their rationale at each step and effectively modeled the search process. For each criterion, assign a score from 1 to 5. Record your responses on the feedback form and submit it to the facilitator. All responses are anonymous. Participants will receive their evaluations within 1 week. So you can actually find this feedback form on the website. The instructions will be on it too, along with it's easy to fill out, just 1 to 5 and score your fellow presenters. And then you'll find some short answer questions where you can provide a little extra feedback. Try to keep it to constructive criticism only. We don't want a repeat of the last incident. And yeah, basically that's it. Now take some time and we'll move on in about 35 minutes. Great job, guys. I saw some great demonstrations there. I really learned a lot about your processes. And I feel like if I were a student, I would have really just understood immediately how all those Boolean operators worked. Now let's move on to the discussion reflection section. Instead of breaking up into groups this time, let's just stay together as one big group and we'll just go one by one, reflect on the following. What approaches to the modeling search strategies did you find most effective? What aspects of your peers' demonstrations did you find effective or confusing? And what changes would you make to your modeling approach to increase clarity and accessibility for students, if any? So just like answer any of these questions, raise your hand if you want to say something. We'll just do a quick discussion. Finally, let's move on to the conclusion. What did we learn? Effective searches begin with generating strong keywords, synonyms, and related terms. Boolean operators and quotation marks allow you to further refine your search. What are the next steps after this workshop, though? Continue refining and practicing your search techniques. Apply these strategies in your classroom to prepare for the junior paper assignment. Now, this second one is the real important one. How are you going to take these strategies and these lessons you learned and demonstrate them to your students? Teach your students how to really do solid research for their junior paper. Now, to help with that, I've actually created an instructional handout that you'll find on the website that walks you through this process step by step. And it makes it really easy. You can give it to your students and they can reference it anytime they want. And it's a great form, so they can look at it. You can look at it too and review it. And thank you so much for joining the program and coming to this workshop. I hope you guys learned something. Now, if you have any final questions, I'll answer any of them right now. Wow, thank you so much for your questions and all the compliments you gave me. Goodbye.